Well, Steve, here we are with our final podcast, and this could be a good time to reflect on all the work we had to do and why we did it, and to explain ourselves a little bit.
Agreed, and it was quite a journey, as we found, from the very first beginnings of choosing a title, I seem to remember.
Yes, and I think in the end we decided on spoken English, the basics, because we were more interested in how the language is used rather than the nature of the language, its structure, and so on. I think that was the right thing.
Yeah, I think it was a very social take on language in a range of contexts. So we've got a number of kind of themes, haven't we, running through the book, which we'll perhaps just recap.
We decided that we would start off by looking at how language is always varied in some way, spoken language, whether it's because it's different from writing, but also because it varies, say, within regions. Remember, we recorded our informant Jerry from Norfolk talking about his own use of English. So, do you think the Norfolk style of speaking is dying out, or is it still strong?
I think that's still quite strong, actually. I'm still aware of it, when I go and see my relations and I hear what they saying, and yeah, I realise they've still got their Norfolk accent.
Beyond variation and variety, we've got all the kind of different contexts like the workplace, education. We've done a lot of work, haven't we, on looking at communication in the classroom, for example. Spoken English is never done in isolation. It's always done for something, for a reason.
That's right. And those reasons have grown immensely over the last, 20 years. English is now the standard language of communication, whether it be in business, education, sport, commerce, tourism.
For most people, certainly in a work environment, you're going to be in a globalized context where you're working with people from all around the world.
Yes, and for that reason, I'm very glad that we focused on um, interviewing and recording people in a quite wide range of contexts. I think we hit a good note in not using these people that we've interviewed as subjects in a classic experiment, but actually being interested in their voices, how they feel about their identity as English speakers in these different contexts.
Yes, I think that was a real strength, actually, the idea of having people talking about what English was for them. And
I hope so, with the voices of the stakeholders, what we call English voices. I think that's been an important strand of it. But when we think of social context, of course, the biggest upheaval in social context has been the technology, everything from the first telephone right up to online classes and online meetings that came about during the pandemic of 2020.
AI now raising its
Yes.
head and coming in. How's that going to affect things like voice recognition systems and
Yeah.
answering services and things like that?
Yes. And do people know anymore if they're talking to a human being or a machine? So it may be that spoken English becomes something that doesn't just belong to humans, it comes from machines as well.
Who's going to read this book?
Well, that's a good question. Who is the book for?
We hope somebody's going to read it.
Yes. I mean, obviously, the publishers are very often orientated towards educational contexts, teachers, students, undergraduates, postgraduates, teachers in training.
I think there's an inherent interest in everyone, certainly my own family and friends. Questions of language often come up, especially spoken English. Just casual understandings of how we use English. I think that's another audience in a way. It's kind of appeals to everyone in a way.
And in some ways, that's the most difficult thing of all, because we're writing a basic book that we hope will appeal not just to specialists. And that was a real challenge, wasn't it?
Oh, very much so. Very much so. Well, let's see how it goes.
Yeah. And of course, people will point out things that are missing or that we could have developed further. But it's a very short book. It's very, we hope, an easy read, a way into the subject. It's not a description of the subject or a
No.
compendium of the subject or a comprehensive encyclopedia of the subject. It's a series of little doorways into a big subject that we just hope that people will pursue individual pathways depending on their interests.
Maybe it might spark further interest to read more.
We hope so. Well, it's been good, hasn't it, Steve? And I
Yes.
think we've enjoyed it. We've laughed. We've argued, we've laughed again, we've argued again, and we've laughed again. And we're still here, still speaking to each other. So
Absolutely.
that can't be bad.
Not bad at all.